Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Stuff in Excel. What I want to do in this video is show you how to transpose data in a range of data to flip the horizontal and vertical axes. It's really kind of a cool trick. We're going to see how to do it both using the transpose function, and also we're going to look at how to do it using Power Query. What we have is a data file that has columns. So we've got a column for first name, column for last name, column for region, sales, and experience. This is how we may see many of our files, but maybe we put it this way and we decided we really want it a different way. We may want it to be transposed. In other words, we may want first name, last name, region, sales, and experience to be down the side with the first names on first row, last names on the second row, etc. So how would I do that? Okay, how would I do that very easily? Now, many of us have done this before where we've created a spreadsheet. Afterward, we create it, we realize we wish it had been the other way around. We want the headers to be on the side. We want the side to be up on the headers. How do we do that? Okay. So Excel offers us a couple of ways to do it. And the first way I'm going to show you is a way to do it dynamically. We're going to first go down to the bottom, and we're going to add another sheet to this. And you see, just go down to the bottom and click on the plus sign down here at the bottom line. It'll create another sheet. Now that sheet says sheet 5 right now. I'm going to rename that, and I'm going to call it transposed data. So that's my tab name, and I'm going to go up into my cell A1 and I'm going to create a command. I'm going to use the command equals transpose. So equals transpose, and you see that Excel recognizes that function, and I can now use Control A, and it'll bring up the dialog box that allows me to more easily complete the function arguments. It wants an array. So the array is simply a range of cells on a worksheet or values that you want to transpose. So I'm going to go back to sheet 1, and I'm going to highlight everything that I want to transpose. You notice my data dialog box still stays there. So I'm simply going to highlight this from A1 down here to E11, and it fills that array box automatically for me. I just hit OK, and it's going to transform that data. So I've got this data now, and I'm going to resize those columns. I've now got first name, last name, region, sales down the side with the data across the top. Now I can sort this data horizontally. I can do a lot of things with it, but this is a different format for the data than I had otherwise. The other thing about this is that it is dynamic. Okay, so let's look at this column here of data, and let's say that let's go ahead and highlight that just to make it so we can see it easier. Right now it's Richard Brown in region 10. Perhaps I don't want it to be Richard Brown. Perhaps I want it to be Bob Smith in region 1. Okay, so I can go, if I go back to this and I change my original data file, and I change that to Bob Smith in region 1, what you'll see, you go back to my transposed data, is that it has automatically updated that for me. So any changes I might make to the other data will automatically be reflected in the transposed data because it's all based on a formula. Now in cell A1 we see our original formula, and it's right there, but each additional cell has got a version that was based on that same formula, and you see it there. It's grayed out because I don't change it here. If I wanted to change the formula, I'd change it back in cell A1, but it's in all of these other cells. So what I can do is, as I move my cursor, I can see that every one of these cells is populated because of that original formula over here in A1. So that's going to be a real helpful tool to me. But there's another way that we can do this. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. We'll just create another tab so you can see I'm doing things differently. I'm going to now go back up to data. And now I'm going to go over to the left and go to get data, and I'm going to get data from a file, and I'm going to get it from a file that I know I've got that's called transpose data. So it's going to bring up my box. I'm going to go all the way down. It's going to be down in here in my T's, which is where, and there it is, transpose data. I'm going to open that data file in Power Query. That's what doing the get data does. It opens up the file, the data, in Power Query. So I'm going to import that. And when I do it, it's going to give this data, it's going to give me an option. It's going to look for sheets. I've got one sheet of data there in that original file, and I'm going to click on that original file, and that's what it looks like. So I'm going to say what I want to do. Let me get this out of the way. I want to transform that data. I'm going to transform that data. It's going to bring that data up, and I'm going to close my window right now. So it's going to process this query, and it's going to bring it up in Power Query. It tells me right up here at the top, it's in Power Query. And there's my data. I want to transpose this data. So what I'm going to do, if I go to Transform, which is up here on the top line, and one of my options is, oops, where is it? I click on Transform. One of my options is to transpose my data. So I'm going to transpose the data that's in that file. So I click Transpose, and it does it that quickly for me. It's automatically transposed. But you notice I don't have now in my first column first name, last name, region, sales, evaluation. I don't have that anymore in that first column. And the reason why is I didn't tell the Power Query to treat that first line as data. So let's undo this. And the way we're going to do it, we go back over here to our applied steps, and we close the applied step. So now we're back to our original data. I'm going to go back up here. Before I transpose, I'm going to go to my use first row headers, and I'm going to say I want to use the headers as first row. Right now, those are recognized as headers. I don't want them to be recognized as headers. I want them to be part of the data. So I'm going to say you recognize the headers as the first row of data. So it moved those down. Okay. So now when I do transpose data, it looks just like the other one. I've got first name, last name, region, sales, experience, but I've done it through Power Query. I don't have to remember the Excel command, Excel function. I don't have to go identify the array. It automatically does all of that for me. And when I'm done with this, all I have to do is go back over to Home, and I can close and load that file. And I'm going to now get an Excel file with the transposed data in it. It's much easier than trying to use the function and then cleaning things up. So hopefully that was helpful. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you click on the notification button so that every time we issue a new video, you will get a notice that a new video is available for you. See you real soon right here on Stuff in Excel.